I've started off with some Echo Park pattern paper. This is from the Note to Self pack. And I chose this piece of cork pattern paper, kind of is the main focus of my card. And then all the other patterns I'm edging with Memento Tuxedo Black ink, just because I can. And the cork paper, I decided as I was looking at it, I'm like, it needs to be roughed up a bit. So I used my AmyR Memory Keeper's Heart Attack tool and just a little metal edge and roughed up the edges really good. And then I wanted kind of another piece of pattern paper just kind of as a dimension, but I wasn't sure what I was going for, so I ended up grabbing this little piece of wood pattern paper that was from the My Mind's Eye on the Bright Side pack 2. So I cut that out as my sort of main image, as it were. Since I'm going to use sentiments for this card to kind of keep the focus on those, it's going to be a really simple card, completely flat, so a card like this would be perfect for mailing if you need to mail it away. It's perfectly flat, there's no embellishments or bumps or anything like that. So yeah, that, and I'm just trying to get back into my stamping groove after having a little bit of a break here for the past week or two or however long it's been. So anyway, I'm using sentiments from my All About Dad set, and I inked up the Dad with VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and I'm using my clear stamp positioner to line up the sentiments before I stamp them right onto the card front. That way it basically makes sure you do not mess up and stamp things crooked and smear everything. Because there's nothing worse than having to restart a card, especially if you're using limited amounts of pattern paper that you can't just keep redoing it. So, got the Dad lined up and the Happy Father's Day lined up the way I wanted and stamped on the card front. And then I chose just a scrap of pattern paper from the same Note to Self pack. Stamped that onto there, same ink, everything. And then I'm just using an old Spellbinders die to cut it out. And I just use a piece of tape just to hold the die in place when I run it through my Big Shot so that the die doesn't shift. A person could use a punch if they have one that would fit, or just trim it down. The die was on hand, so I thought I'd use that. And then for the star embellishment, it was just a star punch in my stash. So I punched that out and edged that with black ink. And then I decided to add some arrows to point down to the Happy Father's Day, just to bring the focus to that. So again, punch those out, edge those with black ink, and then I'm just using my Tombow Mono Multi adhesive to adhere those down. It's my go-to liquid adhesive. I love Tombow Mono Multi. Before I got an ATG gun, that was all I used was Tombow Mono Multi. It is the best adhesive ever. I love it. I used to buy it by the case, and I still think I have almost a case left here since I don't use it as often, except for things like this. It's perfect, just really small little areas. So yeah, got everything adhered, and that's the card front. Like I said, super simple, flat, easy. This card really, I whipped it up in about 10 minutes roughly, so really easy to make. And then I adhere that to the card base itself, which is CC Designs Sand cardstock. So just got that. And then for the inside, again, keeping it simple, I chose one of the Arrow pattern papers from the same pack. I thought that was rather fitting with the arrows I used on the front. And then one of the darker gray pattern papers, and then I'm using the cork paper again, roughing up the edges with the tool. The cork paper is the spot where you'd write the message. It's light enough that you could write over it with pen, so I just thought that was rather fitting. And then I just added another star for the embellishment, and that was it. I'm going to adhere that to the inside of the card. As always, there will be a link to my blog post directly below the video. And on the blog post, I'll have links to all the supplies used. And I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye!